Hi folks, welcome again to the channel. Juan here from Physical Media EU. Today I want to discuss the state of physical media releases for A24. Hello again and thanks for tuning in for another video. As I was saying, today we're going to discuss a little bit about the Blu-rays released by A24. But before we start, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, if you're interested in physical media, especially Blu-ray reviews, but also other related videos like this one of today. You can also find me on Instagram, which has the same handle, Physical Media EU, where I post little photos of the items that I review and also share when I make videos like this one that are outside the scope of the reviews. And you're more than welcome to follow there as well. So beginning with this video, what I would like to do is going over the two types of formats that A24 has for their movies in physical media and see pros and cons of each other, and I hope the video helps to make sense which kind of releases you might want. And before focusing on the movies, I would like to remind maybe that A24 also does these releases of vinyl records. You can see there, this one is the one for Civil War, and here you can see the A24 music logo. If you are interested in these releases, I made a video about the A24 music label. You can find the link up here in the corner where I show some of the items I have in my collection. Now, yes, finally, I picked up two random movies from each stack. So let's begin by comparing these two. First of all, you can see this is a little bit more traditional of a release. You can see if I put it next to the other, there's a huge size difference when they are compared. And the size is definitely a concern for many people. It might depend on the configuration you have on your shelves, but this might or might not fit. So if it doesn't fit, you need to find a different place where you can keep these ones. But of course, these more premium releases, as I would like to see them, they are a little bit more of a display item. They don't necessarily need to live on a shelf. Here is the spine if you want to see how it would look. But ideally, this would be presented like this. I had this one like this for a while in my previous setup. Now my collection has grown and I cannot have like a forward facing all the things that I look, but I try to rotate them from time to time. On the other hand, this more conventional size, this fits normally in your shelf and it goes perfectly fine next to other releases. So let's take a look at what one can find in one of these releases. So you can see there's this cardboard slipcover that is open on one side, and then you always have this digipack. So it opens like this. Then this is a 4K disc, and as you can see, there's only one disc. So if you buy the 4K release, there's no Blu-ray. There's always only one disc. And then on this side, there's a set of art cards, which I think is always 6. So let's take a quick look at them, just so you get an idea of what I'm talking about. They are printed in this somewhat thick cardboard. Normally the picture quality is pretty good, and normally they have some stills of the movie or some artistic designs. And I have several of these releases. This is actually the side of the digipack, but this is the side that goes on the shelf. You can see there and there on the side. By the time I upload this video, I believe I will have already posted reviews for all these movies, so check out in the description. There should be links for all of these. I'm not gonna go on detail over each of these in this video because we are talking about the release format, not about each specific movie, but check those links if you're interested in any of these. What you need to know is that they are all the same, all include 6 postcards that they have, and they all follow the same pattern. With one exception, Lamp, which was the first of this type that was released by A24. So I think this one is worth taking a specific look, but there is the full review already on the channel. You can check it out there. In this case, there is no art cards, but there's a booklet. So the booklet is about 40 pages long. It's more similar, for example, to what you can find, in an Arrow video release. Oh, you get an idea. There are like some sketches, also some photos. I found this one very interesting. In my opinion, for my preference, I wish each of these release had a booklet instead of the art cards. The art cards, in my opinion, are nice to have, but there's not much you can do with it. I understand if you're a big fan of the movie, maybe you can frame them all together or put them like in a row and have them somewhere on a wall or something, but 99% of the time, maybe even more than 99%, you will not do that, and they just live inside the box. Same as the booklet, but the booklet at least has readable material. It can give you so much more than the art cards. So I wish if I had to choose between art cards and booklet, I would go with the booklet. But someone at A24 thinks different, so they went with the postcard for all the other releases. Now, moving on to this collector's edition of Midsummer, as you can see, it is more premium than the other ones. It is, of course, more expensive. I'll touch upon that a little bit later on the video. You can see, I hope you can see in the video, a little bit of the texture that it has. It is kind of like a fabric, and you can touch and feel the cross here, and also the typography. So definitely a very nice premium feeling packaging. Now if we open up, we find this sort of book, which again has very nice printing quality. Feels very sturdy. It is a hardcover. And we open up, we find in this case, again, it's a 4K disc. You could choose if you wanted to get the Blu-ray or the 4K, but it will include only that chosen version. There's no additional Blu-ray in this release. And it has a very generous booklet, as you can see here. Let me show you the table of contents. There's a lot of art from the movie. Here you can find some more. And in total, this booklet is 60 pages long. And there are other movies that had this kind of release. I have here, for example, the one for Stop Making Sense, but there are some more that I don't have in my collection at the moment, which are The Last Black Man in San Francisco, The Lighthouse, The Green Knight, and Everything Everywhere All at Once. But what is happening with these kind of releases is that they are becoming more and more rare. And I don't mean in the sense that they are hard to get, because until not that long ago, you could only get this one through the A24 website, but now there are some other places where you can find them. In the US, people have seen this at Barnes & Noble, and also some of them at Walmart. That I know, at least in Europe or in the UK, I have seen these ones in the BFI shop in London. Not all of them, but you can get some of them. But what I mean that they are becoming more rare is that besides this one that was released last year, the newest one of the rest of the group is Everything Everywhere All at Once. So the only one they have done since then is this one. On the other hand, the other kind of releases are becoming more and more frequent. As I said, the first release of these ones was Lamb. Now more recently, movies like Queer, Sing Sing, and The Brutalist have come out already in these formats. But not all of them are released in 4K. These two, for example, are Blu-ray only, and for Brutalist you can choose if you want Blu-ray or 4K. Besides that, they have also done this like archival, I would say, release of Pi, the first movie by Aaron Aronofsky that came out, of course, before A24 existed, but when they worked on The Whale, they also did a release of this one and also a book. An important thing to mention about these releases is the price. These ones that are more premium normally go for $45, I think, for the Blu-ray, and $47 for the 4K, which is basically the same price. But specifically this one was more expensive. I think this one was like something like $55 or something like that, so like $10 more than the other releases. Something to keep in mind. While these other ones go for $35 for 4Ks and $30 for the Blu-rays. Depending if you are a member of the A24 membership, AA24, these prices may vary, but the prices I just say are the full price. And at the moment of this recording, I'm not entirely sure when I will post this video, but we're a little over the first half of the year, and already A24 has released more movies in this format than in the whole 2024. And there are several more of these announced for the upcoming couple of months. So I would say by the end of the year, we will have a lot of these releases. This is nice if you plan to collect all the A24 movies in this format, because the collection is somewhat just at the beginning of it, so there might be maybe 15 titles, so it's not that difficult catching up with it. In my opinion, I don't buy all the movies, I buy the ones I like only. And I think an important thing to consider as well is about other releases from other labels. Many of these movies might have other types of releases, for example, within Europe. A24 doesn't do steelbooks, but maybe you like steelbooks, and there will be some Italian, French markets, for example, maybe UK as well, that might do steelbooks. So if you like the movie, this is not necessarily the only format you can get. There are other options out there. Furthermore, some of the media books from Germany have 4K releases for movies that don't have 4K releases in other countries. For example, there is Beau is Afraid, Iron Claw. Those are released in 4K in Germany. For some reason, they are not available in other countries. So those are things to consider as well. So that's all for the video. I hope you liked it. I would love to hear in the comments what kind of releases you prefer and if you own any of these titles. Remember to check on Instagram. There will be photos of these releases, and also in the description links to individual reviews. Thank you so much for watching, and see you all at Okie Dogs.